They made an entire generation laugh every single week. So why did their real lives end in heartbreak? If you grew up watching Man About the House, you probably have no idea what really happened to this cast, once the cameras stopped rolling and the applause faded away. Today, we're revealing the truth behind the fame, the tragic death that shocked fans, the beloved star who quietly faded away after a devastating stroke, and the 2025 loss that closed this show's final chapter forever. Stick around till the end because one of these stories will completely change how you see this cast. Richard O'Sullivan. Robin Tripp was the charming young man at the center of Man About the House, a culinary student whose easy smile, cheeky confidence, and constant misunderstandings helped define the show's playful spirit. The role was played by Richard O'Sullivan, born May 7, 1944 in Chiswick, London. He was 29 when the sitcom premiered in August 1973. Robin worked as a character because he brought a modern, youthful energy to British television comedy at a time when the genre still leaned heavily on older, more traditional setups. Living in a flat with Chrissy and Joe, he became part of an arrangement that quietly challenged conventional social expectations of the era while keeping the humor warm and easy to embrace. His flirtations, quick comebacks, and occasional awkward missteps gave the series much of its charm, especially whenever the nosy Ropers were watching from the flat downstairs. O'Sullivan played Robin with a relaxed, unforced comic style that made the character likable even when he was being a bit too clever for his own good. He had a genuine gift for physical comedy, often built around Robin's hopeless cooking experiments and romantic schemes gone wrong. The role proved so popular that it led directly to the spin-off series Robin's Nest, further cementing O'Sullivan's place in British sitcom history. Today, Richard O'Sullivan is 82 and has long since retired from acting after health issues in later life. Robin Tripp endures in the memory of television audiences because O'Sullivan made youthful confidence feel funny, kind, and unmistakably of the 1970s. Brian Murphy. George Roper was the lazy, grumbling landlord whose complete lack of ambition became one of the great comic pleasures of Man About the House. The role was played by Brian Murphy, born September 25, 1932 in Ventnor on the Isle of Wight. He was 41 when the series began in 1973. George worked as a character because his uselessness felt so familiar and true to life. He loved comfort, avoided effort, misunderstood almost everything, and seemed happiest whenever nothing was expected of him. His marriage to Mildred created a perfect comic contrast. She craved style and respectability, while George wanted only peace, the pub, and as little responsibility as possible. Their bickering, built on decades of mutual disappointment, became one of the most beloved marital dynamics in British sitcom history. Murphy's performance gave George a slouched physical brand of humor and a wonderfully blank sense of timing that made his failures feel lovable rather than pathetic. He could be selfish, lazy, and clueless, yet there was something oddly harmless about him, a comic softness that kept audiences laughing with him as much as at him. The character proved so popular that he carried straight into the spin-off George and Mildred, cementing Murphy's place among the great figures of British sitcom history. He went on to further success later in life, playing Alvin Smedley in Last of the Summer Wine. Brian Murphy passed away on February 2, 2025 at the age of 92. George Roper endures because Murphy turned laziness into something strangely charming and made domestic defeat into comedy gold. Doug Fisher. Larry Simmonds brought restless bachelor energy into Man About the House, usually arriving with confidence gossip or some scheme that was never quite as clever as he thought. The role was played by Doug Fisher, born September 20, 1941 in London. He was 31 when the series premiered in August 1973, turning 32 a few weeks later. Larry worked as a character because he was the perfect contrast to Robin. Where Robin had a warmer charm, Larry was slicker, more self-serving, and often far too impressed with his own romantic powers. Living in the attic flat above the others, he wandered downstairs as though the place belonged partly to him, bringing stories, flirtations, and complications that pushed the comedy into new corners. Fisher played him with a lively rhythm that made Larry irritating in just the right way. Never too harsh, always energetic, and always likely to make a situation worse rather than better. His presence added another male perspective to the show's playful look at changing social manners, flat-sharing, dating, and youthful independence in 1970s Britain, giving the series a small but memorable ensemble beyond its central trio. Beyond the sitcom, Fisher went on to a long career, including a recurring role in London's Burning during the late 1980s and early 1990s. Doug Fisher passed away on July 9, 2000 at the age of 58 following a heart attack. Larry endures because Fisher made cheekiness funny, unreliable, and essential to the show's sense of mischief. Michael Segal. Jim added a quieter, everyday presence to Man About the House, the friendly barman at the local pub, the mucky duck, the kind of supporting character who helped make the sitcom's world feel lived in beyond the main flat and the Ropers downstairs. He often helped Robin out by extending him credit for parties and gatherings. The role was played by Michael Segal, born November 1, 1924 in Willesden, London. He was 48 when the series began in August 1973. Jim worked as a character because British sitcoms often depend on small rhythms, a barman pouring a pint, a brief exchange, a dry aside that grounds the bigger misunderstandings unfolding around it. Segal brought calmness and restraint to the role, offering a steady contrast to the romantic confusion, domestic bickering, and youthful chaos that surrounded Robin, Chrissy, Joe, George, and Mildred. Though Jim was never a central figure, his presence helped fill out the community around the main characters, reminding viewers that comedy comes not only from big situations, but from small, ordinary interruptions. Segal had a long working life in British television with credits stretching back to the early 1960s in shows like Coronation Street, Crown Court, and Sergeant Cork, building a reputation as a dependable character actor. He passed away in November 1996 at the age of 72. Jim endures because Segal made a small part feel natural, dry, and warmly familiar, proof that a sitcom's charm often lives in its smallest corners. Norman Eshley. Norman brought polished snobbery and comic superiority to the world of Man About the House and its spin-off. He was played by Norman Eshley, born May 30, 1945, in Bristol, England. He was 30 when the character first appeared in the show's final 1975-76 season, playing Norman Tripp Robin's brother who romances and eventually marries Chrissy. The role grew far more significant in the spin-off George and Mildred, where Eshley took on the character of Geoffrey Fourmile, the Ropers' snobbish, respectable next-door neighbor. Geoffrey's neatness, confidence, and faint air of social judgment gave the comedy a class-conscious edge, especially set against George's laziness and Mildred's social aspirations. Eshley played the part with just the right balance of charm and smugness, making Geoffrey funny without turning him one-dimensional, and the character became one of British sitcoms' classic snobbish neighbors, often ranked alongside The Good Life's Margot Ledbetter. Beyond the Man About the House universe, Eshley worked steadily across theater, film, and television, including early Shakespearean stage roles and an appearance in Orson Welles' 1968 film, The Immortal Story. A serious car accident in France in 1993 left him with lasting injuries that limited his later stage work. Norman Eshley passed away on August 2, 2025, at the age of 80 following a battle with cancer. The character endures because Eshley made snobbery crisp, watchable, and perfectly suited to the Roper comic universe. Roy Kinnear. Jerry brought warmth, physical comedy, and a wonderfully bumbling presence into Man About the House. The role was played by Roy Kinnear, born January 8, 1934 in Wigan, Lancashire. He was 40 when he first appeared in the series in 1974. Jerry worked as a character because Kinnear had one of those comic faces and rhythms that could make a small role feel instantly alive. He brought cheerful confusion, expressive reactions, and a softness that suited the show's light domestic chaos. In a sitcom built from misunderstandings, flirtations, and awkward social situations, Jerry added another layer of gentle disorder, the sort of character who could wander into a scene and make everything feel more unpredictable without ever turning unpleasant or mean-spirited. Kinnear's real gift was making comedy feel human. He could be silly, flustered, and physically funny while still seeming completely believable to viewers at home. Beyond Man About the House, Roy Kinnear became one of Britain's most cherished comic actors with memorable film work including Henry Salt in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and Planchet in Richard Lester's Musketeer films, alongside decades of stage television and comedy collaborations, notably with Lester and the team behind That Was the Week That Was. He fell from a horse on September 19, 1988, while filming The Return of the Musketeers in Spain, and died the following day from a resulting heart attack at the age of 54. Jerry endures because Kinnear made awkwardness warm, expressive, and impossible not to like. Duncan Lamont. Dr. McLeod brought a firm professional presence into Man About the House, briefly grounding the sitcom's light chaos with a touch of authority. He was played by Duncan Lamont, born June 17, 1918 in Lisbon, Portugal. He was 55 when the series began in 1973. Dr. McLeod worked as a character because his no-nonsense manner stood in sharp contrast to the confusion that often surrounded the main characters. In a series where romantic misunderstandings, landlord disputes, and flat-sharing complications could spiral quickly, a character like Dr. McLeod reminded viewers of the outside adult world, practical, direct, and not especially impressed by excuses or youthful drama. Lamont gave the role quiet command, drawing on a long career in film and television where he often played serious, authoritative, or grounded men, from a Hollywood-style villain in The Adventures of Quentin Durward to a Roman officer in Ben-Hur. His screen presence helped even a smaller part feel polished and believable. Beyond this sitcom, Duncan Lamont worked across British entertainment in dramas, comedies, adventure stories, and science fiction, including a memorable turn in the Hammer film Quatermass and The Pit, showing a versatility that served many productions well over several decades. He passed away on December 19, 1978 at the age of 60 from a heart attack while working on an episode of Blake's 7. Dr. McLeod endures because Lamont made professionalism feel steady, dry, and neatly placed against the show's comic confusion. Sally Thomsett. Jo brought sweetness, innocence, and bubbly charm into Man About the House. The role was played by Sally Thomsett, born April 3, 1950 in Sussex, England. She was 23 when the series began in August 1973. Jo worked as a character because she gave the flat a softer, more wide-eyed energy alongside Chrissy's sharper wit and Robin's cheeky confidence. She was often naive, sometimes confused, but always warm, helping make the central trio feel like a genuine household rather than just a comic setup. Her friendships with Chrissy and Robin gave the show much of its easy affection, while her innocent reactions often turned ordinary situations into gentle farce that audiences found endlessly charming. Thomsett played Jo with lightness and sincerity, never letting her sweetness feel empty or one-note. She understood that Jo's appeal came from trust, warmth, and the kind of open-hearted personality that could brighten a scene immediately. Before and beyond the series, Sally Thomsett was also remembered for her breakout role as Phyllis in The Railway Children, despite being 20 years old at the time she played the 11-year-old character, giving her a special place in British screen nostalgia. Today, she is 76 and remains fondly associated with her most beloved 1970s roles. Jo endures because Thomsett made innocence funny, kind, and central to the show's lasting warmth. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next one.